Why is there so much fear towards drag queens in the United States? Also, what advice will I have for an impoverished woman who's considering an abortion? Stay tuned, we have a lot to unpack in this week's episode of Ask Psychic Ralph. Welcome back to Ask Psychic Ralph, a weekly webcast that uses tarot cards to help viewers resolve personal issues, reach goals, and make decisions. This week's question comes from Joyce in Cincinnati. Dear Psychic Ralph, after splitting with my boyfriend, I found out I was pregnant. I'm in my second year of college and I can't afford to start a family. I don't believe in abortion, but having a child would ruin my career. What should I do? Joyce, my heart goes out to you. Thanks so much for your question. First off, I'm not going to tell you what to do. You're at a fork in the road, so what I'm going to do is pull cards for each path and let you know how your life would look if you have a child or if you choose to go through with the abortion. Based on what I describe, you can make your own decision from there. This is your choice, okay? So let's see where the cards have to go. So this is about you having a child. It is interesting because the Sun card often can mean children. It's probably my favorite card in the deck, and it's a card of happiness, fulfillment, reaching goals. It's a really, really, really good card. Let me see what else the cards have to say. And the Page of Pentacles, pages often represent children, so I do think that this is the card representing your child. So I think you're going to have a child who is quite academically gifted, someone who's very curious, someone who you can learn from as much as they can learn from you, which is the way good parenting should be. And finally, I do think that having a child will put a wrench in your financial and career goals. So the Five of Pentacles does say, for sure, it could throw that off. But otherwise, these cards really do look good if you have a child. Now, I'm going to put these back, and I want to look at the alternate universe where you choose to have an abortion and see what your life looks like there. This is interesting, because this card came out. Interesting. I actually think that if you choose to have an abortion, I do think with the Nine of Pentacles, I do think that there will be success in store for you. I do think that your life in a lot of ways will be very different, as fulfilling, but in a very different way. I do see as well that there will be there still will be love around you. It's not like, the only way you can have the only way you can have love is with a child. So I do see that there will be love, but I do think that it will be different. Now, I need to tread carefully with what I'm going to say to you. If you were fine with having an abortion, I would say, you know what, do whatever suits you based on these cards. But the thing that concerns me the most is that you're not okay with abortions. And the thing about my being pro-choice, and I am pro-choice, is that it's really, you get to choose. No one who's pro-choice is pro-abortion. It's not how it works. So I would never push an abortion on somebody. It's a really, really big decision that a woman needs to make, and as a male, I have no seat at the table. But it is your decision to make, and I'm going to say that if you choose to go down that path and have an abortion, I think you need to make sure that you're okay with it and that you can live with it. I don't think there's anything bad about it, but if it bothers your conscience to do that, then maybe that needs to be a factor to consider as well. I'm going to say either path looks good. So at the end of the day, it really depends on what you want out of life and whether, again, you can live with either decision. So that's between you and your conscience, and I really do hope this reading helped you. And again, I do sympathize because this is probably one of the most difficult decisions that any woman can make. All the best. Up next is the Psychic Scoop, a segment where I probe pop culture and politics. RuPaul did a wonderful job of bringing drag into mainstream culture, but with that has come some tremendous pushback from conservatives. Right now, there are 14 states that are writing legislation to restrict or full out ban drag. And their concern is that drag is not a good thing for children. So I want to say, yes, there is definitely some raunchy drag out there. I've been to some pretty raunchy drag shows for sure. But the thing about those shows is they happen in bars where you have to be an adult to attend. And then there's the whole drag story hour thing where drag queens go to public libraries and read children's stories. And then they're concerned that that's going to confuse children. But I have to point out, in 1993, a movie called Mrs. Doubtfire came out. And in this film, Robin Williams, dressed up in drag, as he was playing the role of a father who was separated from his children. So he dressed up as Mrs. Doubtfire so he could be a nanny to his children. And there wasn't any outcry, oh my God, because he was heterosexual. So this is really fucked up. And I don't want to ask the cards whether this is right or wrong because it's fucked up. But what I want to ask the cards is what people like you and me can do to fight against this bullshit. So, let's see. The Eight of Pentacles. We have our work cut out for us. We really have to organize. We just can't let this slip. And the thing is, it's too easy for people like me in Canada or people who live in New York or California to say, well, it's not happening in my backyard. Damn it, it's happening in all of our backyards. And this isn't just about queer people or drag queens. This is about the right of artists to express themselves. This is censorship. And we really have to say no. This is a humanitarian issue. We have to fight back. We have to organize. So that is what the Eight of Pentacles is telling me. I do feel again with the two eights. So change. It's about bringing in a new order. We have to push back. I'm not saying that we need to riot, but I really do think that we should look into the states. That I know Tennessee is one of them, and there's a bunch of other states. Maybe we should start boycotting travel to and products manufactured by these states until we have their assurance these homophobic laws will be shelved. Anyway, I do think that that's also another thing we can do. I am getting a lot here about travel. The Eight of Wands and the World card are both travel cards. And I almost feel like it would be really good if people from all over the world started to rally, started to be present, show up in drag. Really, really, really show them. And I'm not saying to be violent, just to show them the beauty of queer culture, of drag. But I will say, I think there is one drag queen that has to be canceled. I will say there is one drag queen that needs to be canceled. And that, my friends, is George Santos. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube or follow me on Instagram and TikTok. If you'd like a private reading, please visit psychicralph.com. To send a question, please visit askpsychicralph.com. See you next week and have a magical day.